Hey folks, we are on a Good News Tuesday. I'm Drew Barrett and I hope you're having a great Tuesday. But today I'm going to discuss something that may offend some of you or put you on the defense. But please finish the video before you start hating me. Or you can hate me now and then not hate me when it's done. But please finish the video. Because, growing up I always heard, playing sports that there's only two type of people on the planet. Winners and losers. And I grew up thinking that basically my whole life. But the more I think about it, the older I get. I completely disagree with that now. There are definitely winners. We see them everywhere. We see them in business. We see them in our communities. We see them in restaurants. We see them around. You can just they put off that air. That guy's a winner. We see them on TV. We see them in athletics. But on the other hand, those guys are definitely winners. But there are never any losers. And the reason I say that is because there's absolutely no such thing as a loser in my opinion. There are just quitters. As long as you keep trying, you're not losing. As long as you keep moving forward, you're not losing. As long as you are doing your best to make you better at this exact moment, there's no way you're a loser. Now don't misunderstand me. What I'm saying is you can choose to lose, but that's your choice. Everything I talk about is about you, your personal decisions, your personal history, your personal steps, your excuses, your changing your mindset. But yeah, you can definitely choose to lose. You can quit trying. You can quit moving forward. You can quit doing your best. That's 100% up to you. But you're still not a loser. You're a quitter. And quitters are very real. We see them everywhere. I've quit on things. I've quit on myself. I've quit on my family at times. I've been not the best father sometimes. I've been not the best husband sometimes. I know I've been not the best kid. Ask my parents. But you've got to change it. A lot of quitters that quit, we quit because we listen to that little voice in our head that says, hey, you can't do that. You're not smart enough. You're too old or you're too young. I learned real quick that too young was not real with my son. And this isn't hey, check out my son. This is the real deal. Ethan struggled in grammar school. A lot of his teachers can verify that. He made great grades, but he struggled in the process, the daily actions of grammar school. He really struggled in middle school. Same thing. His freshman year at high school, I was literally getting messages from teachers going, get him out of here. He is so smart, we can't help him. When we pulled him out his freshman year, he had 26 grade point. His grades averaged for all classes a 26. So we pulled him out his freshman year and enrolled him in Sylvan Prep Academy. This is not a Sylvan Prep Academy commercial. So we enrolled him in Sylvan. And Ethan not only ended up finishing having a fresh start, he had to start his freshman year over, so you can imagine his frustration. But when he fresh started, he finished a year and a half ahead of everyone with a 3.85 GPA. A year and a half early, 3.85 GPA, because he made that change. But we listened to that small voice in our head, and he had listened to that through his grammar school and middle school, or he listened to that small voice. The teachers weren't saying it. Ethan was telling himself that you can't do it, you're not smart enough, you're too old or too young. So, he thought he was just lost. But they also, quitters also listen to the negative people around them that question them relentlessly. Well, why do you think you can actually do that? Whatever it is you're trying to prove, you're going to have somebody whisper in your ear, well, why do you waste your time doing that? Or they quit when it gets too hard, or they quit when they get tired, or they quit when whatever it is they're trying to do, takes too long. Ethan would get very frustrated in school. He was very frustrated when he started Tennessee Tech. And here's why. His senior year of high school, he finished in 54 days. 54 days. So he thought he could walk on to Tennessee Tech and just blaze through college like he did high school. And, you know, public colleges and state colleges are not structured that way. Because he had a plan in the future, because when Ethan was 14, NASA was sending him care packages. Boeing was sending him care packages. Lockheed Martin was sending him gifts. When we go to STEM center training at Tennessee Tech when he was 15 years old, they'd bring him gifts. Hey, Ethan, come here, we brought something for you. You know, he did space camp 3 times. The third time it was an invitation only, and they took all the candidates that had been to space camp for the last 5 years, and they picked the best of the best of the best, and Ethan was picked to be their pilot. Out of every kid that had been to space camp, Ethan was picked to be their pilot. And it was the first time they'd ever done a 2-week program, and he was selected. So he's used to that success of instantaneous success. So, you know, but when he got to Tech, everything had to slow down. He has great associations with people at Harvard in the experimental physics department that call and check on him daily. Or not daily, I apologize, weekly. And, you know, Rick Rogers is awesome for doing that. He has a good foundation, but it's almost like college set him back. So he's lost his focus. But, you know, he is working right now, just like I'm trying to help you and help myself. You know, he's going to have to change his mindset. But you've got to remove the negative people from your life, or you've got to learn to tune them out. You know, you've got to retrain your brain, because once again, his brain was trained for straight up success in high school. Blur. He blew through it, 3.8 GPA. But something between high school and college didn't translate to the success. So when he said, I talked to him about the other day, and I said, so what's the deal at college? And he said, well, it's such a bigger school than what I'm used to. And, you know, it's just a lot harder. And I kind of laughed, and I said, okay. So let's Google how many students are at Tennessee Tech. And I think, forgive me if I'm wrong, I want to think it's 9,000 students are enrolled at Tennessee Tech, which is a lot of people. I said, okay, now let's see how many students are enrolled at Sylvan Prep Academy. And it was 54,000 students, but his classroom had 20 kids. So that's all he ever saw. I said, so Sylvan Prep Academy is 5 times bigger than Tennessee Tech's enrollment. You just saw what you saw in your environment. And already I can see a change in his attitude. So we're retraining his brain to get him back to rocking and rolling. But remember, and this is one thing that I said yesterday, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Never quit. Do not be a quitter. Do not be a quitter. There's no such thing as losers. There are such things as quitters. Do not be a quitter. So never quit and never stop. The late, great Martin Luther King Jr. stated, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. And that, my friends, is an outstanding quote that is still applicable today. As always, in the key statement in that word to me is you. And I always, you know, I've kind of reversed what Dr. King said, is if you're down, sit up. If you're sitting, stand up. And if you're standing, move forward and keep moving forward and keep moving forward and keep moving forward. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's not fancy, but it's real. And always feel free to share any of my Facebook posts and YouTube videos. Love you guys. Deuces. And I apologize for bouncing my camera twice.